Hello, my friends. It's been a while since I've done a video on narcissism, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's good because today I'm going to talk about the stages of grief when it comes to the narcissist, and you'll notice that right now you might feel a little bit obsessed. You might just have found out about what they are and what they're doing to you, and all the hurt and betrayal that comes with it, and then you kind of get stuck. Like you kind of keep reliving it and talking about it and thinking about it. And I guess I'm going to say it's more of like sort of being in shock. Like, how did this happen? How could this happen? How could they do that to me? And when you're in that initial shock phase, there's going to be a lot of crying. There's going to be a lot of crying. And it's going to be hard. And you're grieving. You're grieving a relationship, the death of a relationship that you thought it was a certain way and it's not. And you might be in a situation where you no longer have any contact with them. And so, you're just reliving the memories. Or unfortunately, you still have some tie to them that you can't break, whether you're co-parenting or they're family members and you don't want to make the hard cut, but maybe you distance yourself from them. Or maybe it's an in-law, so you can't really cut cold turkey, but with the in-laws or with people that you don't have to see on a regular basis, you can kind of set up boundaries and just let things roll off you now that you know what you're dealing with. So you'll start there, and I would say that's like the first stage, and you want to get out of that as quick as you can. I probably stayed in my mourning phase a good 6 months. I think it took me a solid 6 months. And I was 35 years old, very close with my family, and then I found out that my mom had been lying to me and sabotaging, and I recognized what she was doing and how she was doing it and how calculated it was. So my situation, I went from my mom practically living with me, always with me, trusted her completely, to I went into completely no contact, just on the spot. And it was a little hard for me because I put up that boundary, but she kept resisting it. And so it got as far as having to get a restraining order, or I guess it's with family, it's like a domestic abuse, or what is it? They have a different name, a protective order when it's family. Unfortunately, they have their own category. So that made it a little bit harder. It made it harder because there was a lot of drama and a lot of coming over when you're not invited, not wanting to leave, standing outside my door, kicking, screaming, and things like that. And so there was always like fear and anxiety of like, when is she going to pop up? Or if my kids are outside, where is she just going to come by and grab them? So there was an anxiety with that. But then the good part about that was that it kept getting so ridiculous, the behavior, that it helped my grieving process hurry up, I think. Because the more the ugly, rebellious part of her that didn't want to accept no for an answer, she just kept going crazier and crazier, and threats kept getting more and more aggressive and more crazy, and to the point of ridiculous. And then when people act like that, it's a lot easier to let them go, I think. So that was sort of like it helped, and it hurt while it was happening, but it helped. So it just helped reinforce that I had made the right decision. And so once I got to the point where I was done obsessing, because stage one grieving goes right along the lines where you're crying 1 minute and then you're watching tons and tons of videos or reading about narcissism and reading about all these things, or listening to people talk about what their experience was with their parents or their spouse, or a coworker or a boss, and you just keep reading or watching, and you kind of get obsessed. I think you get obsessed because you just want to know everything about it. Like, you want to know how was this world there that you didn't know about, and you're like, how is all this happening? And I had no clue. So you kind of want to like just take in as much as you can take in. And if you're there right now, I understand you, I feel you, I've been there. I suggest you move to the next stage, because the next stage is better. So I one day just like, I don't know, I decided like enough was enough, and I got tired of crying, and I got tired of mourning, and I was like, I'm mourning a relationship that never even existed. So it's over, it's done, you know? And so I decided to plant a garden, and that's what I did. So I like plants, I like birds, I like little lizards and butterflies and things like that. So that's what I like. That's what I feel happy. I like being outside. That's what pushed me back outside. I said, enough is enough. I'm tired of being inside. I'm tired of being closed off. I want to go outside. I want to be outside, hang out by the pool, soak in the sunshine, take care of plants. So that's what I did. And I planted this beautiful garden, and with a lot of love, took care of it. And so all of a sudden, instead of my thoughts being obsessed with like dark negative stuff, I just soaked up the whole summer of just being outside and paying attention to nature. That's how I reset. So you might have a different reset button. You might have like maybe playing music, playing the piano, playing the guitar, singing. You might like reading, you might like reading about different cultures. You might, whatever it is that you do to relax, is my point. Give yourself some time to just relax. Do things that relax you. Going for walks, going for runs, going to the gym even, if you're going to the gym to like detox, to, not as like a vanity or competitive kind of thing, but just exercise, getting the heart rate going and releasing toxins and feeling nice and fresh and energized. And then that'll put you in a better mindset. So that's what I did. I started my plants, and then I was looking at my kids, and I just said, I would never, ever want my kids to look at me or think about me the way that I unfortunately have to categorize my mom. So I started thinking, well, now I know what not to do. Now I know what really hurts. Now I know all the things that are really troublesome and sad and overwhelming. I thought about all the things that I didn't like that my mom was doing, and I recognized when I was doing it. So I said, okay, well, I've been pretty bossy. I've been pretty controlling. I never say sorry. I'm kind of just what I want to do and just go full speed. And I don't really ask for input, and me right now, I know what that feels like to be on the other end of it. So I kind of feel from the other perspective. And so I don't want to be the cause of that pain to my husband, to my children. So I kind of like put myself in check. Said, am I doing any of those things that hurt so much that my mother does to me? So I would say stage 2 would be reflection. Well, stage 2, I would say, is relaxation. Relax, go find a hobby, do something that relaxes you. Go to the beach, go hiking, do stuff like that. Stage 2, relax. Because you went from like hyper crazy mood, like, oh my God, oh, like super overwhelmed. You need to mellow out. You need to get to the mellow out point. After you mellow out a little bit, after you enjoy the water, after you enjoy the fresh air, after you enjoy all of that, exercise and life, instead of all the death and the sadness and the all that stuff, go towards what is beautiful and what is light and what is life-giving. Go to that. Whatever sparks you, joy or fills your heart or makes you feel like you accomplished something. It could be, donating your time, donating your money, something where you can go and help someone else. So I chose to kind of take care of and help my plants and help my, all the little wildlife in my backyard. That's, making little homes, and I enjoy having it so that the birds like to hang out at my house. And so, so I planted trees that would have berries that they would like, and shade for all the little lizards, and, water features. And that's what I was, that's what I did to distract myself. But maybe you have time to go and donate your time to a worthwhile cause and help somebody that's in need. So that would be stage 2, is do the relaxation thing, right? Stage 3 is reflection, thinking about, okay, now you can process what happened. Now you can process what happened. And all along the way, you want to be making sure you're setting up really good boundaries for yourself, okay? Because chances are, if you were slave, like an emotional slave, an emotional punching bag to a narcissist, you're not just that to one, you're that to many. Or if you're not at the same time, like a mom and like if you're not emotionally abused by your mom and your wife, then once you leave your mom, there's a very good chance as a guy you're going to pick a wife who's going to act like your mom did. Or as the ladies pick somebody bossy and cruel like how your mom was or how your dad was. So it's a warning. It's a warning for you, okay? It comes in groups. So you need to break it. You need to make an effort to pay attention to what you're doing, what you're saying, and who you're hanging out with. And don't fall back into that pattern because you don't realize it, but you're comfortable with it. So you need to break out of it. So don't leave your ex-boyfriend or your ex-husband, leave him, and then start a new relationship with someone who's just like him. Because whether you like it or not, until you heal, until you find your joy in your life and your purpose and your desire to move forward and your desire to enjoy life, until you get there again, you're still going to be a narcissist magnet. You're going to be a magnet. They're going to see you. They're going to sense you. They're going to sniff you out. So you need to get past that broken part. Whatever is part of you that those people see and they take advantage of. Okay? And it's probably your kindness and your generosity and your willingness to overlook offense, your willingness to just let someone else take the lead, all of those things. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't be a doormat. Don't be a doormat. Don't allow yourself to be abused. Okay, there's no excuse for emotional, obviously physical, but there's a lot of emotional abuse that goes on that doesn't get the attention that it should because it doesn't leave any physical marks, but it messes with your head. So my suggestion to you, get past the obsession stage, relax a little bit, reflect on what you're doing and what you need to do differently to set up those boundaries and to have a purpose that makes you happy, that don't have your joy be tied to somebody where you can't function without them. Like we want to enjoy the people that are around us. There's so much that we can get from quality relationships, but you can't be like needy where you're just like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like, what do you want to do? What sounds good to you? So take the time to kind of get to know yourself. Forgive yourself okay, so after you can get past all of that, now you're in a better frame of mind and you can forgive yourself. You're going to feel like the biggest idiot ever. How could I have been so stupid? How did I not see that? Maybe all my friends hated this person and I didn't listen. Everybody else saw it and I didn't see it. Or I got scammed for money, I got scammed for my time, they lived with me rent-free, whatever they took from you that makes you feel stupid, whatever they did to you that makes you feel stupid, you have a choice right now. Don't feel stupid. Don't. Recognize that you're a kind person, you were generous, and someone abused. Now you know they're like that, so now you're not going to offer the same way that you did before. That's it. It's an experience and it's over. Your relationship with the narcissist has to be an experience only. It's really important. Don't let it define your whole life, please, because it will suck your life dry. It will leave you a basket case. It will leave you feeling depressed and suicidal and feeling lost and like you're just floating around. Who are they to have so much power over you? So forgive yourself for being conned, because they're all con artists. You were abused, but now you stood up for yourself and you walked away. Or you put up those boundaries where they can't mess with you psychologically anymore. You know, like in the case of the in-laws or things that you can't, maybe your boss is like that. So forgive yourself. After you forgive yourself, give it some time. You have to forgive them. That sounds like, oh, Vanessa, they're crazy. Why would I forgive them? They're evil, they're wicked, they did everything planned, it was all premeditated. How can I forgive that? How can I forgive that? Okay. Not saying excuse the behavior. I'm not saying go back to the behavior. I'm not saying to go out and hang out with them, because I firmly 100% believe in no contact. If at all possible, no contact. If you are a ex-spouse, you have kids in common, and you have to have contact because you have to arrange the kids, or you have to have contact, for the visitations and things like that, my recommendation, stick straight to text time. And once the kids get old enough, you can walk them to the door on the inside, let them go, wave through the window. There's no need for interaction. Okay. If you're at Thanksgiving and your in-laws are horrible, and then just go prepared for that. You don't need to engage in it. And then when things happen, it's like, of course they're talking like that. Of course they're instigating. Of course they're pushing buttons. But they're your buttons, so you can override. So you can control your emotions and not play their game. So that being said, you still need to forgive them. And you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. My recommendation to you is that you forgive them, because when you realize how sad these people are, how their whole life is wrapped around lying and conning people and taking and playing these little psychological games. And then if you think about it from their side, if you're exposed, you're going to be left alone. And as the narcissist gets older and older and more desperate, they're going to die alone unless they have really entrenched themselves with people who support the behavior and they're all in this sick dynamic thing. But anybody that can think clearly is going to walk away from them. And I think that's always on the back of their mind. So there's always that fear and anxiety that they're going to be found out and discarded and abandoned. And it's terrifying for them because they can't function on their own. So these people are very sad, and they're very sick, and they're very far from God. And they really don't have anything of value. All the things that prop them up and make them feel good are just either cruelties that they do to people or superficial things that are here right now and gone tomorrow. So it's not really of substance. So don't forfeit your life and your joy and your, all the happiness that you can have for people like that. It was an experience. It's not your whole life. Thank God you know now, and you can start over. Start over. Have new memories. Have new hobbies. Have new places to go. Don't dwell in the past. And don't let that experience take over your whole life, because that's going to lead to very dark places. So I hope you find this helpful. I said in the beginning of the video, I had made a video about the narcissist in a while, and it was a good thing. The reason is because I'm not thinking about it. But I do read your comments, and I do understand the need for privacy. So when I get these messages and people, are so open about their private life, I really appreciate that. And I know when you put your comment in there and leave it for a little bit and then delete it, I read it. I did. And when I got started in this process, I would leave comments and then delete them too. So there's no worries. No worries at all. I love you guys. And you're not alone. And what was done to you was completely cruel and unnecessary. And I understand your heartbreak. I just encourage you to flip to the next chapter of your life. And as always, I recommend that you pray and you ask God to help you to help you get rid of the pain. And he'll do that. If you're willing and open to forgive, he's going to help you forgive. Even if it's really hard right now, you'll be able to forgive. And you're going to feel so much better after you do. So feel free to leave a comment below. It'd be fun to let me know what stage you think you're at. You're like, oh yeah, I'm on this. If you think I forgot one, let me know. And, I think it's good that we keep in contact and that we reach out to each other and we leave these comments and, you throw a like or, so there's connection, there's communication, and that's what we need. We don't need isolation right now. We don't need darkness and depression and hopelessness. We need community. And I'm here for you guys. And I really appreciate all the YouTubers who helped me get out of that first funky stage. So hope you have a good night, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Good night.